psychology. So Ms. Olga, I would say floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I welcome you all. Thank you very much for this opportunity to be here with you. I would like first to tell you that this session is going to be recorded because, as we know, we have this data protection issues that we have to inform you about everything that concerns your data, such as your name, your face pictures, or whatever. So if you have any objection to that, please you can tell us now in order to cover your face and your name and not to share. But as you probably know, this session, as the other sessions, are recorded for strictly academic issues and strictly academic purposes. So for us, it's a very good opportunity to have this file and to use for other scientific purposes. So as Mr. Chang already introduced me, I will say also some things about myself, because I think that especially in mediation, sorry, wait a minute to put this in the right order. Okay, can you see that? I think now you can see that.
Yes.
Yes, thank you very much. Introduction is the main bridge, the core bridge between mediators and parties, and it's the minute that you have to cast the confidence and this connection to the parties. So my name is Olga Tsiptse. I am a Greek lawyer at Supreme Court of Greece. I am also an accredited mediator and arbitrator of Ministry of Justice here in Greece. I have also practiced, I'm a practitioner, and I have also attended as a mediator and an arbitrator in international mediations, arbitrations, and other cases around the world, mostly Europe, but of course, I know I have already graduated from my postgraduate studies that concerns European and transnational, international commercial law, banking law, mediation and arbitration. So I'm totally at your disposal to use me in a positive way to start collaborating and start exchanging ideas, views, experiences. I'm here to help you whenever you need my help, my advice, my collaboration. It's not only that session. I certainly provide you all these after-sale services. So it's a great opportunity for us to start a global collaboration, and it's a unique opportunity for me. And I hope that is certainly for you too. I would like, before starting this very core session that is concerns feelings, psychology is the human itself, himself or herself. So I think that it's a very core session, because we have, as mediators, we have the obligation, it's mandatory to learn about how people react, how people feel, what makes them feel that way or this way. So before starting this very core session, I would like some of you, not all of you, to start communicate with me and start introducing yourself in order to build this relationship. Can you please provide yourself to that exercise? It's not only introduction. I want you to make me believe in you, that you are my mediator that can handle my case, my feelings, my very valuable things that I have to share with you. Can you please?
Who would like to start first? So, well, there's well, maybe Xinyan would like to start.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, nice to meet you all, and nice to meet you, Miss Olga. I'm not sure my pronunciation is okay.
It's very
So
good. Thank you.
okay, thank you. I'm a practicing lawyer in Sichuan Chengdu China, and I have more than 8 years practicing experience. My main area is about commercial legal services, and I also got the CCP got the I also
Yeah,
got a
SSP.
license yeah, yes, and I have some basic knowledge of the GDPR. I know Mrs. Olga, you also have this practice, have this experience in the GDPR services, and I also have in this area we can also have some deep communication. And by the way, I also have some experience in the Toastmaster club in the past years. That's a speech club more about the public speaking and individual communication. And in the past, I used to attend such how to say such like communication training in such club. So I can have I can have maybe very good individual communication with different people from maybe different cultural background, and that's my basic introduction. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very good. Very good. Can you please, Mr. Huang, is that right pronunciation of your surname?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
My name is Huang Xiaoqian. My family's name is Huang. I have been a lawyer for 3 years. In these 3 years, I have worked as a mediator in a police station for a few weeks. And now I also do labor arbitration. And before I became a lawyer, I was a project manager in an engine company and responsible for international exhibition and purchasing and export. I have been in Germany, Austria, France, and Switzerland for a few months, especially in Austria. Have very abundant experience in negotiation with international companies. No, that's my introduction. Very nice to meet you this evening.
Thank you very much. Is anyone else who wants to try this exercise?
Well, how about like say Yao Chen Li? Would you like to give a try? We just like just quote some colleagues. Is there? Would you like? Yeah, please.
One more try.
Hello. Yeah, I'm from Sichuan Mingju Law Firm, and I'm a new, I'm just a 1-year lawyer here, so I don't have any experience in mediation, but I have some courses when I'm in law school. So I'm interested to learn something from this course. So I'm here. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can we all, let's say, did we all hear what our colleagues just said?
Yeah,
Do you?
yeah. I think one colleague, Yang Hua, would like to give a try, but yeah, fine. Yeah.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Yang Hua, and I'm in Sichuan Faxian Law Firm. I become I'm a lawyer about 20 years. I think I'm majoring in construction law and criminal law. And I think mediation is very important because since last year, or since the year before last, I became some arbitrator. I think mediator is very important. At the first years of my lawyer experience, I think I can't mediate some case not very well. But in these years, I think it's I learned from other lawyers or other mediators. I think a mediator, it's important to listen carefully to the party is very important. And then learn more about their concerns and interests. Then I give some advice to them to negotiation each other easily, such as this year. One case, it's a cultural construction law case. My party do the construction, but they have haven't any evidence. If we go to litigation, I think they will lose. But I made a mediation for
it's a win-win
for
yes,
both parties, and at last they get the money back.
okay.
So
Well,
I think listen first is very important and know their concerns and interests.
exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mr. Tao Yang Dentos, I don't know if I said that name correctly. Do you want to add something in short?
Yes, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm just said in the chat, record, I'm very sorry for the little bit names.
Mhm.
And your pronunciation for my, first name is definitely correct, Tao. But the second name, my family name is Jiang in Chinese, but you pronounce it as Jiang. That's what happened to my friends in Norway or in some many European and countries. I have studied in University of Oslo,
Mhm.
and for 2 years for the international human rights law. Now I'm working as a lawyer for Chengdu for around 10 years, and I'm focusing on the dispute resolution. And personally, as I maybe introduced myself before, and even as Miss Yang, I'm even not only focusing on focusing on the civil and commercial cases, but even also to the criminal cases.
Mhm.
And because I have got my first master degree in criminal law in Sichuan University here in Chengdu. And personally, now I have just, I think when we talk about today's topic, the mediation, I think mediation is a very efficient
Mhm.
and maybe a facilitative way to resolve the disputes.
Exactly.
Now I'm just not just very quick read, finish the very quick read of the Singapore Convention on Mediation.
Mhm.
I think there maybe it is maybe different from my local experience in Chengdu. Maybe I will write an essay on this as my report or outcome for this course is that I have been part in in a mediation case. We call it a foreign-related mediation case. In Chengdu, foreign-related commercial mediation center, which is initiated by the Chengdu Bar Association. I think from that case, I think the mediation is a very efficient way and a facilitative way that around I've finished that case, the plaintiff or the applicant has received their money within 3 months, and from the application, the date of the application. And I think maybe I will talk more about that case further, maybe in my thesis, for this course or in the future course.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So what we try to do right now is to listen to what other has to say about themselves. And I think that is very cool, because when we start a mediation, we as mediators have to listen to the parties, either separately or in some joint sessions. But we will see how these things goes later on. Right now, I will start my session telling you about what are we going to talk about today. Today, we are going to talk about psychology, personalities in conflict, manipulation and persuasion, emotions in mediation. Well, what we are going to ask ourselves about this session is about psychology in mediation is how does a conflict arise? Personalities in a conflict, categories of persons, who and what influence these personalities, emotions in mediation and techniques, how emotions act restoring relations and resolving disputes, manipulation and persuasion, definition and distinction, and which are the psychological principles. And of course, the second part of our session will be a panel discussion about psychology and mediation regarding cultural diversity and other diversities, gender, religion, education, that we have three very, very experienced and very esteemed colleagues that will share their experience and their notes and their feelings about all of these things that we really have to have in mind in mediation. And I want you to actively participate to that part because it's for you. So let's see, why is psychology so important during mediation? Why mediation differs from other legal processes as litigation, arbitration, or other ADR, alternative dispute resolution institutions, which affection might produce any negative feelings, and psychology in general, and the outcome of any dispute. Do we need any minimum agreement before starting mediating, and how feelings being produced? Have you already shared and have you thought of any of these questions when you start thinking about mediation? Have you already? I want you to reply to the chat whether all these thoughts are something that came into your mind. Did these thoughts come into your mind before starting seeing mediation as an alternative dispute resolution? I want you to participate, please, because this is all about. I don't want any session that I don't see any feelings from persons. Yes, of course. Thank you very much. I will read all your replies. So let's move on. Let's move on. So, what are the professionals mostly? what are the professionals that mostly want to deal with mediation as mediators? The most commonly, at least in Europe, professionals that really want to be mediators are lawyers, because they think that dispute resolution is their field, their area. They know how to resolve issues. They have decided to become a lawyer because they want to resolve disputes, either outside the court or through litigation. And of course, the other professional that that really thinks that is near to principles of mediation is psychologists, because they think they can recognize and manage feelings and behaviors. What shall a mediator take care? We have to think about diversities. We have to think about different cultural, religious, sexual orientation, or other differences. We have to be well educated. Mediator is not a simple one-stop shop training program. A mediator has to be always educated, lifelong educated, and they have to be educated for each case that they manage to deal with. I mean, we have family mediators, we have mediators that deal with constructions, we have real estate mediators, we have mediators who deal with nautical issues. A mediator shall be well educated for each field of their you know, what they deal with. They have to be very well prepared and educated. They have to acknowledge the history of alternative dispute resolution institutions in order to assume the culture that a mediator may face. I mean, do you know mediation, how mediation came into Europe or into Greece? Do you know of course, you know your history upon mediation, but do you know how European deal with mediation? Please, I would like to reply. Can you please reply to that question? Do you know the history of mediation in many places, not only in your place? Yes? Is any who is aware about? Can anyone to reply? Yes, please.
Okay. It's like, for example, in Hong Kong, we are a common law sort of background, and working mediation in China is another matter, because there is an institution called the People Mediation sort of organization, which are more well structured, and also the law are quite different, because they will use quite different technique, which compared to we in Hong Kong, we use speculative model, and in there they can use evaluative, and they can give persuasion, give opinion and things like that to sort of persuade people to reach settlement. In Hong Kong, we try to avoid, because otherwise we may fall into the trap that if we make mistake and people will sue you, or maybe you're not protected in law, you're not immune as in arbitration. So in Hong Kong, we have arbitration ordinance, which specifically saying that all the mediator all the arbitrator are immune, so you cannot sue the arbitrator even they make mistake. But in mediation, no, unfortunately. So that's why when we're working for different institutions, We are more aware and also the background, and also we have to familiar with the law, which they allow you, or you have to sort of track on the very the edge, so you can use your skill how to combine your experience and also your technique. So what will I do? I will use combine a lot of fusion, like mainly facilitative, but in caucusing we will use evaluative. So to explain what sort of challenges and also what is their respective legal position with the in front of the lawyer, so they can have opportunity to take legal advice. So it's not from the mediator, because otherwise you will unfortunately inadvertently to carry the burden, I mean the legal responsibility, because a lot of things, mediation is quite different than litigation law. They have to sworn on oath, and all the evidence may be much more clear, but in mediation, most likely you don't have all the full picture. So it's easier to fall into the trap if you're not careful. So the whole essence of mediation is the decision is made by the party, it's not you. So make sure that they have enough opportunity to get independent advice, so that that will you ensure you play safe. So that's my observation. So that's why when you're dealing with different people from different countries, you have to bear in mind that whether they are civil law background or common law background, you have to be well aware. That's why normally we will ask the party to provide us a mediation bundle. So before we start the mediation, we should look at what sort of background and what sort of legal issue involved. And also, if come to family, we have to do the mediation conference to examine whether they are suitable, whether they are emotional, fit, and proper. Otherwise, you will do great harm to the party as well, to yourself.
Why is that? Why is that? Why are you going to do that harm? Because of bad psychology, because of bad feelings, bad emotion, high.
You don't want to have a secondary injury to the party. I can tell you that.
So that is, I think, and most of us mediators think that that is the distinction between mediation and other dispute resolution institutions or litigation. Exactly this is why we as mediators are distinctively known, because we have to take care about parties' psychology. Of course, we have to take good care of our psychology, because mediator has also to have a nice psychology, has to be an active listener, has to be a human that has to show empathy. Empathy is something that we are going to talk about to a next section on 9th of December, but it's certainly very core session for mediators, because if we cannot feel what what parties feel, we cannot guide them, we cannot help them to find their way to the real interest and the real what it really values for them. So psychology from the aspect of mediators is the effort that mediators have to act in order to face all the resistance, denial, and bad mood of the legal professionals and parties. Also have to the duty to understand the aspects of conflict. You know, what would be a mediator who would not understand, could not understand the aspects of any conflict? If I don't know what we are talking about as a mediator, how could I help parties to approach their conflict not only upon their positions, that is very bad aspect to start with, but to be focused on real interest and the real values of their life, either is professional life, either is personal life, either is any life they carry. So finally, mediators shall play somehow the role of psychologist with a very wide aspect. That's why we as lawyers have to play a contra role. You know, we are, I am a 20 years lawyer practicing law. And when I started 10 years ago to deal with issues that start thinking as a mediator, I was in a great dilemma because I couldn't feel as mediator in the beginning. I start asking whether what I hear from the parties is real or not, is legally correct or not, because when we are lawyers and we start acting as mediators, we start thinking about we start thinking as lawyers. So we have to leave our hat along, to live and start thinking about as a mediators about things that doesn't work in litigation. Maybe some things that we can manage, some solutions that parties will propose or arrange or settle. Maybe they are not legally correct, but maybe these solutions are the real interest of the parties. Let's say an example. In a family cases, family mediations, there are two parents that really have some claims upon their children. Okay, they want, both of them want to have the children of his own or of her own, to deal with the children all the time, but that is not very proper for the children, because the children have to have a stable environment, to have a stable home, to have stable activities, to have friends, to have a healthy environment, and that when we settle a family dispute in courts, that may be not very good for children interest. But if we start thinking about mediation, and if we settle any family dispute through mediation, maybe we can find solutions that court never would propose, but it's this solution may be better for the children and the rest of the family. That was an example. So mediation, I put this, I put this picture because it's really a relief. Yes, and Helen, of course, this stable environments, this stability for the children in family cases, which I think that are very good for mediation. Family cases are very good for mediation, and I think that this stability cannot be provided by courts. There is one court, there is one judge that doesn't know the family, doesn't know the children, doesn't know the way the family lives up to now, up to the divorce or up to an unstable environment. So he or she, the judge, will decide upon something that he or she doesn't know. But we the parties, the parents, know. We know how children are raised up to that moment that we take a divorce or we choose separate directions to live. And I think that we, the parties, the parents, have to deal with and have to settle this dispute. And who can help us to do that? Of course, mediator, because mediator is the one that will provide this relief to the parties. That's why I have chosen this picture, because it's really a relief. It's a sunrise or sunset. I don't know how you see that picture, but for me, mediation is certainly sunrise, because when something ends, something better is yet to come. So I would like to put you I will play a video, because I think it's very, very good way to start thinking about all these things that I have done.
Mr. Luca, should I send out the questionnaire? The trade relations.
Sorry? Yes.
Sorry, no worries, no worries.
No.
It's my fault. I just bumped up
Okay.
something. Sorry. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. So I have in the slide, you can see this is your first homework, and you are going to be rated about that. I would like you to watch the video. It's a 3 minutes video about an allegory of Plato. I don't know if you know Plato. It's an ancient philosopher, the best we have here in Greece. And maybe it's the father of the philosopher, as a philosopher father of Aristotle, and he said about this allegory of cave. I want you to watch the video closely, very carefully, and I want you please to write down how to write an essay, with a word limitation up to 8 words I have written here, how environment affects individuals, and think about you as a mediator. How can you handle situations? I know that you may have no experience up to now, but I want you to write about your approach, either you have experience or not. Yes, of course, you can have Richard Chow. I think you can have these slides, of course. I have distributed to SCLA, who is the responsible institute for these courses. So please take a look, take great care of this, this allegory, and we be in 3 minutes back. It's in Greek, but there is a translation beneath.
Okay, so Mr. Luca, should
Sorry?
I play or you're going to?
Sorry?
Should I play or you are going to play?
I'm
video.
going to play. I'm going to play.
Okay, sure.
Do you see that? Do you see that? Can you see that?
No.
No? Then can you please play that video, because maybe I'm not capable of doing that?
No worries. Could you just do me a favor, Ms. Olga? Just copy that link to the chat
Yes.
box so that
Yes.
I can just open it instead of
Okay.
finding it in the
Exactly.
yeah.
Wait a minute.
YouTube. Nice.
Yes, it's YouTube. Where is that? Technology. Here it is.
There we go. I saw it. Yeah, I'm going to open it right now. So yeah, there we go. So I'm going to there we go.
Yes.
Can everyone hear of it? A second.
Yes.
Can you hear it?
Here
Okay.
it says the allegory of cave, Plato, Republic.
Βρίσκεσαι μέσα σε ένα υπόγειο σκοτεινό σπήλαιο. Εδώ ζεις δεσμό της από τη στιγμή της γέννησής σου. Δεν έχεις δει ποτέ σου τίποτε άλλο πέρα από αυτό το σπήλαιο. Το σώμα σου είναι δεμένο στη θέση σου με αλυσίδες. Το κεφάλι σου είναι στερεωμένο και ακίνητο. Δεν μπορείς να γυρίσεις για να δεις ούτε δίπλα σου, ούτε πίσω σου. Όλη σου τη ζωή κοιτάζεις μόνο μπροστά, στον τοίχο του σπηλαίου. Ακούς τη φωτιά που καίει πίσω σου. Ακούς τα βήματα, τις συνομιλίες. Κάποιοι περπατάνε στο πίσω μέρος της σπηλιάς. Κουβαλάνε στις πλάτες τους ομοιώματα ανθρώπων και ζώων, φτιαγμένα από πέτρα ή ξύλο. Τώρα τι βλέπεις στον τοίχο μπροστά σου? Να η σκιά ενός αετού, ενός πολεμιστή, ενός λιονταριού, ενός αλλού. Είναι οι σκιές των ομοιωμάτων που κρατάνε οι άνθρωποι πίσω σου, καθώς περπατάνε μπροστά από τη φωτιά. Βλέπεις μόνο σκιές. Δεν έχεις δει ποτέ σου ούτε το μείωμα του αετού, αλλά ούτε και έναν αληθινό αετό να πετάει. Ξαφνικά μόνο εσύ απελευθέρωνεσαι. Σε σέρνουν ως την έξοδο και σε βγάζουν από το σπήλαιο. Βγαίνεις πρώτη φορά στο δυνατό ήλιο. Δεν τυφλώνεσαι από τη λάμψη του. Δεν χρειάζεσαι χρόνο μέχρι να συνηθίσουν τα μάτια σου στο άπλετο φως. Με πολύ κόπο καταφέρνεις να δεις καλά. Κοιτάς ψηλά και βλέπεις πρώτη φορά έναν αετό. Θα πιστέψεις ότι είναι αληθινός ή θα νομίζεις ότι αετός είναι η σκιά που έβλεπες τόσα χρόνια στον τοίχο, η εικόνα που είχε συνηθίσει. Και τώρα που ξέρεις, θα ζήσεις για πάντα έξω από το σπήλαιο ή θα επιστρέψεις για να δείξεις και σε άλλους δεσμότες το δρόμο προς το φως.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much. I think that was something that is brilliant. The way that we, any of us, any individual, have been born, have been raised, have been educated. We have been influenced by some things. These all things are really are lead us to create for us to create feelings, to create thoughts, to create perceptions, and all these things. So I think that all I want you to write this essay to help me understand how you think about these feelings, human being feelings are being produced. Because feelings are produced by personalities, and personalities by the individuals, okay? And these individuals have a certain background. Any individual, any of us have a certain background. Each of us carry this separate and this unique background. So how are we grown up? What stimulation, what experience, what education, what relations with other people have we had upon the time that a conflict has been arisen? What kind of social environment is that we have lived in? So I want you, please, and I want you to send that to a CLA, and I will be rate that essay. I want you to see that video on YouTube again, and write down this perception of yours. There is no right or wrong. I want you to assure you that there is no right or wrong, but I want you to see beyond. I want you to see beyond the other individual's side. I want to think, I want to leave your imagination really free and try to express yourself. So let's continue. Wait a minute, please, to start sharing my screen again. I'm not very good. You know, this session would be very good if we could do that in person. But I think that since we have international mediation that we have to carry on, it's a very good practice to do it online. So it's very good for us to have this opportunity to be here online. Okay, so. Is there any question about what the task that is given to you? Is there no? Or yes? Okay, if you have any question to make, please ask me later. So let's see more practical issues. Let's see personalities, categories, and how conflict arises. Okay, so there are many theories regarding any influence upon personality. There is a theory of phrenology, That means that there is individual skulls pattern may define any personality. There is another theory that is called somatology. That means that body shape may define personality. You know, if I am too fat, I really may have lack of confidence, and that will really define my personality. Or if I am too thin, I will be always ignored by others, and that may also define my personality. Another theory is the theory of physiognomy. This is called the theory refers to facial characteristics that may define personality. You know, when I was a student, we had a session in university, in law school, that it was called the session was called reads upon crimes, criminology, and there we were taught about Lombroso, who told about who told us about that some characteristics. If you have harsh characteristics in your face, or if you have scars, or if you have something like that, that will surely categorize you as a criminal, or something bad, or something more angelic, maybe a very good personality or something like that. Do you know about Lombroso? If you don't know, please seek about him and his theory. It's like these things that we are talking about. So these theories help also to define individual's personality, but there are some other factors that contribute to feelings and personalities as well. We have 5 factors of personality. If you can read this acronym, you can see that it's called OCEAN. You can remember these factors, these 5 factors of personality, if you think this acronym OCEAN. Okay, we read here that these 5 factors of personality is openness, that comes for an open person, a person who is open to any kind of experience. These personalities have very vivid imagination and very vivid and free ideas. The second factor is conscientiousness, that is when one shows self-discipline and is very determined to achieve his or her aim. Okay, so they feel comfortable to have everything scheduled. The other factor is extraversion, I'm sorry, when one can experience positive emotions and seeks for the company of the others. I'm a very extravagant person. I really want to seek company. I don't want to feel alone. Also, another factor is agreeableness, when one is concerned for social harmony and compromise easily. And the last factor is neuroticism, when when one feels emotionally instability, have negative emotions and stress. So I have sent a test to Institute to SCLA. I don't know if it's shared to you, but it's the second practice homework I want you to deliver. Here is a link that is a test, a personality test. I will share 2 minutes to you to open that link. Do you have that, or do you want me to send it again?
It would be great to send again.
Okay.
We put into the system.
Okay.
Already, but yeah.
Wait a minute, please. I want you to conduct that test now, because even if you can do that not all of that, but some of the I reach a good point because I want some results. Can you do that? Can you open please this link that I wrote down? VPNs? Why is that? Why do you need VPN? Do you need that for access? I have sent the link here. Oh, sorry, I didn't know that. Okay.
Well, from my side, it's okay without VPN.
Okay.
So yeah.
Mr. Jack, can you please? It's better to play now. Okay. No, it's not YouTube. It's only I can access. Okay. So please, you have 2 minutes. It's 51. You have 2 minutes to try to answer these questions. And then I want your results. Please do that. Is it convenient for you? I'm a bad teacher. I give you math. Okay. Thank you. You will do that test after that. After that session, and you will send me the results. Mr. Jack, wait a minute to read what you are writing in the chat box. The big 5 personality traits are the best. Yes. Okay, we have 1 more minute. You don't have to worry about that if you have not done that. Are you ready? No? Has anyone reached any conclusion? Mr. Chan, can I continue because I want to use the results afterwards?
Yeah, sure, of course. Please.
So I will be waiting for your results. I will use this.
My result.
Oh, if you want, yes, of course. So after let's think about a question. Anne is a very good person at home. with her family, with her friends at work, with her colleagues, and in general, she's a very kind person. Okay, I didn't mean to see what was that. Okay, I finished. Okay, it doesn't matter. You will have the chance to reply to all questions and send me the results, but I want to use some results, not all of yours. So let's think about Anne, who is a very good person. We have an Anne here. Let's say that. How was the name of our attendee? Anne Helen. Well, no, it's not a Helen, but it's a great name, Anne. So Anne makes me think about a very kind and polite person to our relationships. Is she always good with her family, colleagues, and friends? Is she always good? Does she ever argue with them? Why? If yes, if she argues with some of her friends, colleagues, family, etc., why is that? That makes her a little less polite and convenient person. Anyone who does a reply? Please, don't leave me alone here. I'm not alone. We are 57 participants. Please reply to me. I want to see your psychologist. No, it's
So what is the question? Someone just
the question,
could you repeat the question?
Sorry, yes, yes. The question is that yes, we have a very polite person. Is she always polite? Does she argue with friends, family, colleagues, and that makes her little less polite person?
Wow, that's a great question. Interesting question. So Richard, would you like to to give some answer? Richard, how would you like to give some answer?
Hello.
Hello.
I don't think being polite is not to argue. It depends upon where we are, whom are we staying with. If you are in a class and I'm a very polite student, however, if I have some different viewpoints against the professor and my classmates, I will argue. But in my arguments, I will never use dirty or impolite words. I will not sound short-tempered. I will not ignore the concerns of the classmates, of the class, and of the professor.
Mm-hmm.
That's my view.
Thank you, Mr. Taojak. I
Yes.
Yes.
I think there's no direct how to say relationship between be polite and to argue.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's two things. Be polite to argue is not in conflict. I think the point is the way to argue. When we, argue for ideals, different ideas with others, or when we argue for our rights, I think it's okay. The point is that the way to argue. As Mr. Chao just said, we cannot use some dirty words. We cannot use, some way to insult some person, to insult some person. I think that's the point. So if we argue, yeah, we have the right to argue, and sometimes if we are different, we do not agree with other people, we can argue with them. I think it's okay. There's no, conflict between be polite or to argue. I think it's the way. It's dependent on the way to argue. Okay, that's my opinion.
Thank you, both of you, about your perspective. But you said, both of you said about using bad words or being very, very, you know, it's okay to argue, but the way to argue is something that we have to take care. But if Anne, who is a very, in general, polite person, if she uses some bad words, or if she starts being not so polite, and we may be disappointed by her, that is capable to categorize her as a not very good person. I mean, okay, sometimes an anger will change the polite person to, yes, of course. Is that this anger, this bad feeling, this tense, this very extraordinary situation that one person may comes through, that will cost that person to be categorized to another category that he or she was up to that moment. Mr. Chang, I want you to reply. Please think about a person of your family, friends, or colleagues. Please imagine some person. Mr. Chang, Tianzi Chang. Yes, please think about a person. Think about a person of your family or your friends or your colleagues. Name it, please.
Okay, my grandmother.
Okay, describe your grandmother to all of us, please. Her personality. I mean, say some things about her personality.
Well, everyone in the most like say every old people in the around my house, around my grandmother's residence place know her, and she likes to tweet. She likes to send me a lot of useless things, especially about the some fake news, especially, you know. I don't know why, but every day our group, our family group, receive a lot of news that is not true. Yeah, so I don't know how did she come up from that news, but you know, telling like say eat kind of a certain like saying vegetables will help you to deal with cancer or etc. and etc.
So you say that for your grandma. Do you do that also?
I don't send usually like say.
I thought so, Mr. Zhang. I thought so. So the perception that we have about the others is always more worse than the perception that we have about ourselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry. What's the?
The
Could you repeat the question?
The perception that we have upon the others, upon our family members or upon our friends, upon our colleagues, is the perception, the opinion that we have about the others, the other persons that come into our lives, is always worse than the opinion that we have about ourselves. Is that right?
Well, I never thought about this question, you know. That's the thing. I never thought about how I perceive myself, you know. That's the different thing is, I think, well, yeah, I never, you know, the thing is, I don't think someone is very good or bad. I mean, I always think like they are, yeah.
No good or bad, only some characteristics, some behaviors. We see that someone does something that we are very urged to criticize or to have an opinion upon that, but when we do something, we cannot understand, we cannot criticize ourselves. Is that right? Do you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree, because sometimes we just like make comments, judgment of others.
Yeah.
So we like to make a lot of complaints, and it seems like we are in a God's position to see the world and see others doing, but unfortunately not.
Yes. Yes, I can read also the comments. Yes, exactly. So what if we try to change shoes? What if we try to go opposite to ourselves and try to judge about our behavior? Can you do that? Is it easily for you to do that? That's why I want you to share your results from the test that you have just done. I want to see the opinion that you have for yourself, for the others, and I want you to try think about how the others see you. How the
I feel
other,
it's difficult.
it's very
I
difficult,
feel
but
it's
yes, exactly. It's very difficult, but it's the primary goal for a mediator to start practicing, start exercising, and he or she, the mediator, will try to educate parties of a mediation to do that also. Because if we cannot do that thing, we cannot conclude to any solution. If you don't try to think about how the other see us and what is the opinion that the other have about us, we cannot seek to any we cannot reach to any solution, because we will be stuck into a position that is caused before any conflict has been started. Do you understand me? Sorry, Anne-Helen, wait a minute to read. Stigmatism is playing a role in the perception. We have time to set this. Yes.
just
Yes.
sorry, I missed some part.
Mm-hmm. So let's continue. That was something for a food for thought, okay? And all these things are practices that help you try to think as a mediator. And the mediator who has the obligation to educate his or her members, okay? So let's go to, well, how does a conflict arise? I have some questions again. What do you do when you have a serious conflict with family colleagues and friends? Are you entering a conflict spiral? Nice word, I like it. What is conflict spiral? Or are you trying to resolve this before it rises? What is conflict spiral, and how can we resolve any dispute? But I have some opinion, I have some arguments, I have some really, really good thoughts about my case. How can I be removed by my position and try to seek what is the best for us, for me, for my former partner, for my former husband or wife, etc. Okay. So when one starts conflict gathers, she or he enters a conflict spiral. We start as having an argument. Okay, we start having an argument with someone. An opposite opinion, it's not big deal. We have an opposite opinion. And during consistent change reactions, we have change reactions. I tell my opinion, he or she replies to me, I get angry, and all of these things are chain reactions. And so we see that a tiny argument, opposite argument that we might have, that goes bigger and bigger and bigger. And that ends up to a huge, huge snowball, and is ready to digest all of us, both parties. So we start avoiding those who have an argument with. when I see someone that I have argued with, I will avoid him or her. I don't want him or her to see or to talk to him or her or whatever, you know. And some really bad feelings become negative, and all these bad feelings are shared to other people's. You know, I start talking about him or her that is really opposite to my opinion. And now let's say that depending how important the person that I had an argue with is that we start having problems with our nutrition. I mean, if I have a conflict with my family members, I cannot sleep well, I cannot eat well, I have problems in my daily life, and that argument start affecting all my life, all my thinking, all my thoughts, and all this stress occupy me for a long time, as long as the conflict exists. Are these feelings familiar to you? Do you feel the same, or am I the only person that I feel these feelings? Yes, bird eye view, yes, exactly. Yes, it's familiar to me, of course. Of course, this is something that we cannot live with. A conflict with someone who is our friend, our family member, or our colleagues is something that we cannot really afford to live with. And what are we doing when we have a serious conflict? Sometimes I really cannot be very how can I say, self-controlled person, and I really be very angry, and I have bad feelings, and I have very active feelings. And some other times I try to resolve that agreement before it will be bigger and bigger. So I want you to have another practice. I want you to think about a conflict you had, any kind of conflict, maybe imaginary conflict, and describe how your perception of your conflict changed. How did this affect the conflict? All of these homeworks that you are dealing with, and you are going to write them down, and I will read them, and I will give you feedback about each of these. Oh, sorry, why can I? Here it is. And let's say, what is a conflict spiral? What is this very nice word that I really like? Well, when we are in peace, we all know the keys, okay? We are all very good persons when we don't argue with anyone. But during conflicts, we are stuck into strong emotions, thoughts, feelings, and changes. These changes are, first of all, change of perception. We only remain consistent in negative views of the other party. We become blind because we see only our opinion. We lose perception of what other party thinks, and we cannot see any effort by the other party to end the conflict. We can start misunderstanding any behavior of his or her. You know, if I become blind, I don't see what you do in order to resolve the conflict. I think that you are faking, you're not true. So the second change of feelings are that we will talk about empathy in another session. But in short, empathy is the feeling that others' emotion and understanding of the other party's thoughts, feelings, and all these things. I mean, if we start thinking about how the other person feels, that is empathy. In short, it's not only that, it's not very simple. And the third change is the change of initial wanting. We start we start thinking about positions, and we start ignoring genuine needs and interests of our own. You know, position. If you read a book that is called Getting to Yes, that is very good perception about positions and interests. We all human beings are very familiar to stand upon our thesis about our positions, about our opinions, about our wantings, our need, what we want, but we really don't care about our interest. And though interest is that the one that will relieve us, that we are going to feel better if we manage to access, you know, interest is what we have to seek, not position. Positions come and go every time, whenever some things or situations change, but the interest is something that is core. Let me say an example. And I want you to, of course, reply. What about a family case again? Because feelings are stronger in family cases. In commercial cases, you know, we don't have such huge feelings, because commercial cases is something that we have to deal with cold blood. But in family cases, we have strong feelings because there are parents that were in love in the previous time, and of course there are children that are suffering from our behaviors and our feelings. So if we start arguing with our former ex-husband and wife, what is our interest? Please reply to us. What is our interest when we have a family conflict? What is our interest? Yes, Mr. Xiaoqing.
Frankly speaking, I never quarrel or argue with my family members, because every time after they say something, if I reply them promptly, they will say, "You are a lawyer. You are always better at quarreling than me." So I never say anything. After I'm done, I will give them a solution. That's
Yes.
my way of
Yes.
solving these problems.
Yes, but what do you think as a lawyer, that if you have any family case, what do you think is your client's interest? Their position is it's husband and wife to take the best from the other, okay, to take the biggest nutrition, to take the home, to take the children, to take everything, okay, but this is the position. But the interest, which is the interest, the real interest that really matters? Mrs. Angelen? Oh, sorry. Do you want to speak, Mr. Xiaoqing?
Yes, I think in family cases, the real interest of the both parties is to keep faith. So if I am the mediator in the family case, I will try to first of all calm down the tension between the husband and the wife, and then I find a solution for them. That's my answer.
Okay, Mrs. Angelen? Mrs. Angelen, can you hear us?
I'm very sorry.
Yes.
I'm very sorry to everybody. My network is not stable enough. If I put the video, I'm very sorry. Apologize. So I have a quietly different approach. If there are children, the first thing I will do is to take care about the children, to find the facilities, and the mother and the father or grandma. Many times it happens also. that there is a stability for the child of the children. First of all, first goal, because those little things there, the children that didn't have anything to make with the conflict, they must first have a stability and go for the next generation. And for me, on my side, that is my first goal, children. After, you as mediator, you have to deal with the facts and try to find the good solution and the good way. That's my position. I just share it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yes, this is the real interest, to have a stability for the children. Mr. Kong, can you please share your opinion?
Yeah, I done a lot of family case and also supervised family mediator. I agree with the previous my learned friend. All family law, there is a hidden agenda, is the children's welfare are paramount. So as a family mediator, we have to first take care of the child welfare, because by law, it's under duty to take care of the children. The next thing is we have to use our empathy sort of a technique to let them voice their grievances in a more calm and orderly fashion, so make sure that they not went out of hand. Otherwise, we have to break up the meeting into caucus, separate meeting, to find out what really sort of make them worry or why they are behaving like this, to find out not the position, to find out what's worried them, what they need, what they want. And then see whether you can use other technique to draw them to understand that, to understand each other position and how they overcome. Because normally I will use the children welfare as a brick, so that they will more readily to listen to the mediator, because we, as a third party neutral, and we don't have any conflict of interest, so they are more prepared to listen to the mediator. And we also, as because our legal background, even we don't give them legal advice, but we can ask them questions and draw them to look at how the court will it, how the court will see it. And if you don't settle and you come back to the judge in front of them, what will happen? Because the final say is the judge, and the judge's decision sometimes can be very harsh, and it's not necessarily what you want. So in this way, we can help them to soften the position, and also we have to help them to know children is not a property, it's not a cat, a dog. They will grow, they will be rebellious if you not take care of it. And also love is very important, because we don't treat them as a chattel and things like that. Otherwise, God will punish you in long run. I can tell you that they will run away and all this drug abuse, and which they don't want to know. And also we have to tell them what's their responsibility, because their different law have different obligations imposed to the parents. And so whether they are aware or not, you have to draw them attention to look at it. And also in long run, what will be the best for the children, because all the law will say who will give the children a better opportunity to grow up, because otherwise the whole society will be punished and will have to pay for their price, which the judge don't want to look at it. So in this way, we can tell them, and we also can ask them to find out what's their existing situation, because sometimes they want to take care of children, but their financial means are limited. And it's also depend on the different government, because something like in Hong Kong, we have social welfare, which is quite comprehensive. But in part of the China, something like that may not have that sort of facility and things like that. That's why, as a mediator, family mediator, we have to ask them to really realistically look at whether which is they're capable to do that, and also whether they can give them emotional support for the children to grow up. And there's a lot of many cultural factors, psychological factors, not only the party and also the children, and sometimes the grandparents can be also a factor, because this is like other hidden resources which can help them help the children as well. So we have to use our knowledge and also our common sense, and also understanding how they think, different culture and things like that, to find a way which we can enlarge the pie so that they have sort of better resources to overcome their problems. And sometimes we have to do some reality test. Sometimes they want to visit the children and things like that, but the work will not permit them to do so. And if they make empty promises, I can tell you the children will know you are cheating or you're kidding me or something like that. When they lost your trust, I can tell you that you will want to see the children. I think you have a very sort of a difficult task. So that's why, as a mediator, we have to use our legal knowledge. We have to use psychology. We have to use the culture factor and all these other things, and
Mr. Kong,
to look at it. Yeah.
Mr. Kong, please save your strength.
I'm sorry, I talk too much.
No, it's not. You're doing very well, but I want you to tell us about all these things in the second part after the break. Now I want to hear some words about from Mr. Shah and Mr. Tao Chang. I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce.
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry.
May I?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Yeah, I think what Mr. Kong said, I completely agree. However, there could be, a very peculiar situation. And when I'm talking of this is in case of high conflict disputes, where there is a great imbalance between the parties, their power position, their influence on each other. Now here in such cases, it's really very difficult to get to understand their respective interests, their respective positions, because in such cases, one party would be talking more on the positions, and the other party was talking more on the interests.
Yes.
So it's very, very difficult as a mediator to try to first understand, analyze, and then try to arrive at some kind of a balance out situation between the two, especially when there is a power imbalance, as I said, in high conflict disputes. And more so therefore, you see, we have to go beyond the mindset of the parties involved. And correctly, what Mr. Kong said, that there are so many factors which needs to be looked into, apart from the usual empathy and the psychology. But there are so many other factors to be considered and to be analyzed to understand their mindset as to why from where they're coming into, what are the positions, their interests, whatever their statements, they're stating before the mediator, what is their thought process going on, and how that thought process has been built up. So all these things have to be really analyzed, and it is really very difficult unless you have that kind of expertise, you have that kind of experience, you have that kind of a knowledge as mediator to understand that.
Exactly. Thank you very much. And one more opinion about.
May I add a little bit more, because
I'm sorry.
prior to the mediation, we will look at the background, because if they have a long history of violence, we may have to assess and also look at the party where they are psychological fit to do mediation, because otherwise you may harm yourself as well as the party. So we have to assess whether this case is suitable to do mediation. Otherwise, you may let the court to do it, because otherwise you put yourself into great danger. That's my observation. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. One more opinion before we break. We'll share some break. Mr. Dao.
Okay, I just want to say, there's a very famous sentence in Chinese. We say that it's very difficult for good judge to make his judgment on family cases. So that's why, as you know, I think Mr. Ona Tipsty, I am sorry to pronounce your name, and is that not like in commercial cases, the judge or the mediator can give their judgment or decision on it's black or white, just a very maybe simple conclusion, at the final conclusion. But in the family cases, maybe there's no definitely right or wrong for the participants or the parties of the family cases. So that's, I think, as a mediator in the family cases, we should put more maybe feelings or emotions into the cases, not only like in the commercial cases. That's my opinion.
Yes. Thank you very much. Now, an old handler with psychological debates will handle family cases. Yes. So the kind of okay. Okay, thank you very much. Now I propose that I have plenty things to say, but I think that we will continue on December 9th to talk about all these things. The other things that I want you to have in mind is how our personalities in conflict, how these changes of feeling affect us, our behavior, and all these things. But I think that because we have done already 1 hour and a half, might be tired. So I will give you 5 minutes to have a small break. Then we will start a panel discussion with 3 very excellent esteemed professionals and mediators, of course. And after that, we will talk again on December the 9th, in order to continue from where we are stopping now. So please take a break and come back again to continue with the panel discussion. Thank you all for your participation and your great points that you shared with me. And I'm waiting for your homework. Thank you very much. Ah.
Very nice music.
Στα ξαφνικά πως θέλεις να σ' αφήσω.
I don't know the meaning of the music. It sounds great. great if you can explain what it's about. Anyway.
Να φύγω πες χωρίς να σε ταλαιπωρήσω, να σε ξεχάσω και να μη σ' ακολουθήσω. Όμως δεν γίνεται απλά έτσι να σ' αφήσω. Θα γίνω η σκιά σου εγώ και θα σε κυνηγήσω. Σε κάθε μέρος και στιγμή θα βρίσκομαι κι εγώ εκεί. Σου λέω δεν γίνεται, με πιάνει το μαράζι. Σ' αγάπησα κι αυτό έτσι απλά να ξέρεις δεν αλλάζει. Δεν είναι μαγαζί καρδιά να μπαίνω βγαίνεις έτσι απλά. Σου λέω δεν είναι μαγαζί καρδιά να μπαίνω βγαίνεις έτσι απλά. Σου λέω ξαφνικά πως όλα έχουν τελειώσει. Τα μάτια μου κοιτάς που έχουνε βουρκώσει. Προσπάθησα πολύ να βγεις απ' την καρδιά μου, μα ακόμα αγάπη μου στοιχιώνει στα όνειρά μου. Όμως δεν γίνεται απλά έτσι να σ' αφήσω. Θα γίνω η σκιά σου εγώ και θα σε κυνηγήσω. Σε κάθε μέρος και στιγμή θα βρίσκομαι κι εγώ εκεί. Σου λέω δεν γίνεται.
Where's that? Is that in the there's an island in Greece, right? Very famous for weddings.
Δεν γίνεται απλά έτσι να σ' αφήσω. Θα γίνω η σκιά σου εγώ και θα σε κυνηγήσω. Σε κάθε μέρος και στιγμή θα βρίσκομαι κι εγώ εκεί. Σου λέω δεν γίνεται, με πιάνει το μαράζι. Σ' αγάπησα
Santorini. It's a nice island. A lot of people go there for weddings. Some people go there because of some people go wedding because of Santorini.
You know, Santorini has a great sunset like yours.
Yeah.
Oh!
Πάει πάλι 5 παρά 5, άργησες καρδιά μου, στην υγειά μου ξεσπάσα. Πήγε πλέον 6, ποιος να αντέξει, έχω γίνει χάλια και μπουκάλια έσπασα. Ζηλεύω, εσένα που αγαπάω και λατρεύω. Ζηλεύω, που λείπεις και τα σπάω και χορεύω. Ζηλεύω, γιατί ακόμα θέλω να αγαπώ. Ζηλεύω, εσένα που αγαπάω και λατρεύω. Ζηλεύω, που λείπεις και τα σπάω και χορεύω. Ζηλεύω, γιατί κοντά σου έτσι μόνο ζω.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Zag. It was a lovely an honor for me to have my music into your session. It's really, I don't hear bouzouki, but of course, right now I was very in a great mood for that. Thank you very much. That was a great honor for me to have my music in your session, Greek music. Of course, I don't have to mention that if any of you come into Greece, I want you to find some time to visit me, to meet me, or to tell me where you are to come and visit you. So please do not forget to have my personal information. And
everyone got a free coffee or lunch in Greece.
And wine and olives and Greek salad, of course. And we will discuss upon feelings and how this might affect any conflict. Okay, thank you very much. That was a really good surprise for me. I didn't expect for that. I'm really shocked. Okay. Thank you very much. Erica is selling Greek. Oh, sure. Oh, very good. So if anyone, I have said in the beginning that if anyone has anything to do, any difficulties in Greece or in Europe, of course I have another colleague here, Philippe Billet, who is from Europe. We are totally at your disposal to help you with any difficulties you might face. So let's move on. Let's have this panel discussion that I have promised you. Tonight with us, we have three excellent professionals in mediation, who is Professor Samir Shah, also professor as well, Philippe Billet, and William Kong, that are going to talk about all these things that really bothers mediators, imbalance of power, intercultural, or any kind of diversities in mediation that are going to be very useful for you to bear in mind, and because you are going to deal with them, these diversities, especially in international mediation. Before the initiation of this part of this panel discussion, I want to have a word from our panelists. 1-2 minutes introduction of themselves in order to know who is who and what are we going to hear about him. Please, Professor Shah, the chair, you can start.
Thank you so much, Olga. Thank you so much for inviting me on this panel and on this interesting topic. A brief introduction of myself. I am an India-based lawyer and international arbitrator and mediator. I am the director of the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators India branch, and also panel arbitrator at Court of Arts Disputes in Netherlands, which is known as CAFA, and at Bali Mediation and Arbitration Center as well. I also am a faculty at IM Campus, Germany, about to teach and train people into mediation. And I have my own law firm, which is a full-service law firm based out of India, with associates spread across India and different international jurisdictions. So I'm looking forward to this event and listening to my co-panels as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Professor Philippe Billet. Please take the floor.
Thank you. Thank you first for the invitation to be here. It's an honor. My background, I'm in first place a lawyer. I focus on commercial law, but we also service a lot of Chinese customers. I may mention this because I see the audience is full of Chinese colleagues. So we do a lot of anti-dumping, and we also have some state-owned enterprises that we assist with their investments throughout the European Union. I lecture at the Brussels Diplomatic Academy, which is a department of the VUB University. I teach there ADR, which includes arbitration and mediation, but also negotiation skills, especially to diplomats. In Brussels, we host about 160 diplomatic missions. So my mediation practice is therefore focusing not only on commercial mediation, but also in an area which is quite new, it's diplomatic related mediation. So we do a lot of internal conflicts within international organizations, where, for instance, the administrative side has a conflict with the political side. We meet them and we try to restore the balance. It's a lot of fun. I would really recommend whoever gets the opportunity to seize it. So in a nutshell, that's my background. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Really interesting, of course, both of you. And Mr. William Kong, please share your information, personal information.
I'm a practitioner, actually. I'm a lawyer in Hong Kong, Australia, and also China. So I'm sort of practicing law in both sides, the common law as well as the civil law system. I'm also a mediator and also mediator instructor and also examiner. So in Hong Kong, if you want to have a license, you probably have to come across me anyway. And I major in, I do a lot of high conflict family matters. That's why I have very deep concern with the children, because by law is the duty bound, and also because of the high conflict, it also helped me to do a much better mediator in commercial. I'm also a civil engineer, chartered civil engineer. So with more than 20 years construction experience, so I know how what sort of conflict in the building site. So bad language, I used to it. So it's no worry to me anyway. This is their culture, so I don't worry about it. But the thing is, how to deal with the people emotion and also their feeling is the main key element, because if not, even you have a settlement agreement, I can tell you that the next day they will regret it and also go back to court and fight the hell out of it. So that's why first of all, we have to resolve the grievances, the emotion, and then we'll help them to look at their position and also the interest, move them from position to interest. That will help them to reach a both party or all party amicable solution that will last longer. Plus, as a mediator, we have to learn, beside culture and things like that, we have to make sure our drafting skill will be very important, because otherwise you won't get it work. And then the judge will come back to you and say, what have you done? Because especially in international mediation, we have Singapore Protocol and all this stuff, convention, and which lift the whole thing into international arena. So as a mediator, we have to make sure our whatever settlement agreement is workable and also legally enforceable in international setting. It's very good experience to share with all the experts and come from academia and also legal background. I think that it enlightened me a lot, and because some of the exercise I'm not quite aware of, like personality test, which is quite interesting, and I think I'll probably use it. And
I'm waiting.
It's quite enlightening.
Mr. Kong, I'm waiting your results as well. You know. So
I find it very good to share our experience from different background and also different experience, plus different law. From Greece, I have friends from Greece, so I know the Greece. In Australia, there's a lot of Greece in there. I know a lot of Indian friends, so
Yes.
it's nothing
So-
new to me anyway. So looking forward one day I can see you, have a drink with you, and
Yes.
have dance with you.
That will be lovely. So thank you very, very, very much.
Thank
And
you.
let's start from the beginning. Mr. Saad, the floor is yours. And please make us wiser.
Well, thank you again, Olga, for giving me this stage, this platform to share my thoughts on a very important aspect of mediation, which is psychology and culture, and the